Hello, everyone, and welcome to TheBlack.Blog. I'm Charniece, the founder of HeavieTalk Media. Today, I'll be speaking with the founder of PreCollege Solutions. You could just start with telling us a little bit about yourself for those who do not know who you are.
Okay, my name is Shymika Stephenson-Davison. I am a native Louisianan, not from New Orleans, because everybody thinks anybody from Louisiana is from New Orleans. I'm actually from North Louisiana, very close to the Arkansas-Texas state line. Grew up in a very rural town where maybe 10% of the high school students go to college and 5 graduate. I attended Northwestern State University, got my degree in business administration, and then worked in a nonprofit field for a while in Louisiana. And then I moved to Texas to get my master's degree in business administration. And once I received my master's, I was still working at a nonprofit organization, but I transitioned into the college prep / readiness field. And I worked in that field for about 11 years before I decided to start my own coaching consulting company, which is called PreCollege Solutions. We've been around for 5 years, and pre-pandemic, we were just very local, so just in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But with just the pandemic, we were able to kind of just start helping people all over the nation and growing a lot. And so yeah, that is me. I am a dog mom, a chick mom, um, have a little toddler, and I'm married.
From doing my research and also reading your bio, I saw that you are a first generation college graduate. So, did that have any connection to why you started your business?
Yes, it did. I guess it gave me a heart for our first generation students. Like I said earlier, I worked in a nonprofit organization where they actually had a department where they helped low income first generation high school students get into college. And so I really connected with that demographic because college is scary, and if you're the first person and you don't have the family support, then you don't know the resources, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And so I was able to kind of mentor those students, kind of even connect with them as they were going to college to kind of make sure that they graduated or they got what they needed. And so they have first generation students, they have my heart.
So, let's start with the very beginning with the name PreCollege Solutions. How did you come up with the name?
Okay, so I came up with PreCollege Solutions. It was actually my husband's coming up with the name, to be honest. Everybody uses college, and so when I was writing this business plan out, he was like, well, you're not working with college students, like that's not the demographic you want to work with, the before the college students, like before they get to college. And so that's kind of how PreCollege Solutions happened, because I was like, that's definitely, if it's it means before, so it's definitely gonna let people know we're working with before they get to college. So that's kind of how it happened.
So that was a very good point that you made in terms of, for those that don't know, that your business goal is to work with people and get to them before they actually get to college. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So I've been working in this field a while and did my own research. And what I learned is that a lot of people, especially us Black people, we believe we can just wait to senior year, pull up, and start this college application or college prep like journey.
Right.
And then we become upset when it's hard, it's difficult, we don't understand the terminology, we didn't know you should have been taking the ACT and SAT, community service hours, what you mean. We fall into that. And so um the real work starts as soon as a student enters high school. Like that's when the prep happens, and it just gets more intense each grade level. So like if you're a freshman, I would recommend that a parent of a freshman or a guardian, I would recommend you start bringing them on tours. explain to them what is the difference between an HBCU, a PWI, like that type of terminology. Because when they go to school and their high school counselors are talking to them, they're speaking this language. But if the kids don't understand it, then it's not landing.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that's why I heavily believe they should be starting freshmen no later than sophomore year, just getting prepped. And if it didn't happen and you just end up senior year, then that's okay too. Try to just, it's just gonna be a little harder for you.
So, what are some ways that PreCollege Solutions actually does what you say needs to be done
Okay,
in terms of
so
connecting students?
okay. So one of the things that we do, what we would love to get clients into our company as early as freshman and sophomore year. We take from freshman year to senior year. But we would love it if people would like start freshman year investing into their child, not just, with sports, but education financially. So I would recommend um I want to say learning the terminology, explaining to them the importance of the standardized tests, the ACT, the SAT, the PSAT, AP, just all of these exams that sometimes the students and their parents, don't realize how important these exams are when it comes to getting accepted into college and scholarships. Um, I would also recommend for people to do their own research.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One thing that I love doing with freshmen and sophomores is making them do their own research, because their version of research is putting it in Google. First thing that pop up, that's it. That they believe it's gold. Or going on Instagram and seeing what university or whatever they follow says, and then that's gold. And so I love like sitting with them and putting them on the university's website that they're interested in, and just walking them through them, showing them how to navigate. Okay, this is admissions. What does admissions mean? This is the financial aid page. What does that mean? This is this. This is what this means. So I would say things like that.
So, what do you think is one maybe common misconception that people have about the college application process?
I think one of the biggest girl, there's so many. Uh,
Well, give us two then.
okay, I'll give you two. My first one is gonna be a very unpopular opinion,
And that's
but
just fine.
that's just what it is. So we have a lot of African American males
Mm-hmm.
who believe that sports is the way to everything, and I'm not knocking that. I'm not shutting down their dreams of being a NFL, NBA, soccer, whatever, track and field star. I think the misconception is that they feel like their talent outranks academics.
Mm-hmm.
And so they think as long as I'm this good and people are giving me the accolades and writing stories about me in the newspapers, I can I don't have to take any AP classes in high school. I don't have to challenge myself academically. I don't have to do community service. The school's gonna let me in because they want me. Whereas in a lot of the universities, especially if a male or even a female, they want to be a student athlete, colleges look for the academic student athletes, because they have to have a certain GPA to be able to play these sports on the college level. Not only and I want to say, and they also need to get accepted to the school. So if they want to play at UCLA has like a 2.8 requirement that their athletes need to have. And so if you're in high school playing around being a super NFL star, an NBA star, but your GPA is a 2.5, how do you think you're getting into that school? How do you think you're going to pass the ACT or SAT that they're going to require that you have a certain score for? So that's the biggest misconception. One of the biggest misconceptions, in my opinion, when it comes to that. The second one is, and I think I've already stated it, but a lot of students, families think they can just roll up senior year, everything's gonna be easy. They can just apply and they just wait, and they don't understand that just like anything we typically do, especially when the government is involved, there's a process. So a student has to, okay, how are you going to apply for the college? What what is it called? What college application are you going to use? Are you going to use the Common app? Or are you going to use the Common Black Applications app? You have to think about that. Then you have to create a profile. Then you have to input all your stuff. Then you have to create an activity resume. Then you have to make sure that your SAT and ACT scores are correct. Then you have to do the FAFSA. Then you have to do all the steps it takes to make sure the FAFSA. It is so many steps, and I think one of the misconceptions is I'm just gonna apply and wait a week or two, and then they're gonna let me know, and that's not the process.
You got to my next question. That's what I was going to ask next. Can you give us, for you talk about maybe people that are already a little bit late to it, maybe a 5 steps, a need to know 5 steps in terms of the college application process?
Okay, if right now, if I was talking to an incoming high school senior and they were like, "What do I need to do right now to be ready?" This would be the 5 things I would tell them. Register for the ACT or SAT. If you have, you need to take both. You need to take both tests because you don't know what you're good at on these tests until you really truly take both. So register for the first one that comes your senior year because these tests are not offered every day, every week, every month. There's only about 6 or 7 times they're offered the whole year, and it takes 3 weeks to get your scores back. So like that's time you're losing if you have to take these tests over and over again. So register for the ACT or the SAT. Second thing I would say is this summer try to go on college tours that of colleges that you know are in your top three. And if you don't have a top three, you definitely need to be doing that this summer. Coming up with your top 3 to 5 colleges that you know you're gonna apply for. You've done the research, things like that. So that's my number 2. Take tours / make a list. Number 3 would be do some community service. For anybody who plans on doing scholarships, that is like listed on majority of the scholarships. They want to know if you've done some type of community service. If you did, which one was your favorite? You may have to write an essay on it, but that is number 3. Do some type of community service this summer. Number 4, figure out how you're going to pay for college. A lot of kids, a lot of parents, a lot of guardians, they think that they could just wait till the financial aid awards letter come in and then they're going to figure it out. And some of them don't realize like it's thousands of dollars, that the school may or may not offer your child, and so you would have to come up with when they move in August. And so figure out how you're going to do that. Is it going to be the parent is going to take out some loans? Is the student going to take out some loans? Are y'all going to go hard on scholarships? Are people going to work? Things like that. And then number 5, yes, it is your senior year. Yes, it's gonna be super fun, super hype, crazy, but you still need to pass all your classes. Like academics are still important. Yes, homecoming is gonna be amazing. Prom gonna be amazing. But you got to make it to these things, and you only can make it there if you go to class, do what you're supposed to do academically. So that would be my 5 things. There's more, but those are the top 5.
I love those 5. So I want to talk about one of those in particular. You talked about scholarships. So can you talk a little bit about the importance of scholarships? Because in your bio, I saw that your big emphasis is on trying to make sure that students walk away with little to minimum student debt.
Yes. So that is my mission at PreCollege Solutions. Just because I've had students who've gone to college, especially first generation college students, and they've come back home with massive amount of student debt. Graduated from college, come back with $20,000+ in loans, and it's not because um, they were paying for school. It was because they got to college and they didn't have the proper financial literacy. They didn't understand that instead of Uber Eats 3 or 4 times a week, I should be meal prepping. So I was spending my refund money, or if I got any refund money, the money I did get, I was Uber eating. I was having fun. I was going out with my friends. I was taking trips. I was paying full price for the books at school instead of renting them. So it's just like little things like that they didn't realize, but now that they've graduated, they're like, dang, I'm paying for this now and not being able to live the life I want to live. So with pre-college solutions, there is a big emphasis on doing scholarships. Most of my senior college and sometimes my juniors, we incorporate a college. I'm sorry, not a college. We incorporate a scholarship plan where we try to get them to complete a certain number of scholarships per month. Students, families who opt into our scholarship subscription plan receive a list of customized scholarships for tailored to their student, their high school senior, every 2 weeks, so that they can maximize on the potential of applying for scholarships, knowing that these are scholarships I'm actually eligible for. I need to apply for them and I need to work on them. And we also, as an add-on, we do scholarship application assistance. And believe it or not, there are lots of students who actually don't know how to do scholarships. There are families who will be like, I can't help you pay for college, but you better go out there and get that scholarship. And what that does, that tells the students, okay, I better apply for scholarships. But this is something that they've never done before. Like, it's just like giving them keys to a car and they've never driven. But being like, go drive that car, go to the store and come back. And it's like, how do they know what to do if they've never done it before? So how would they know how to apply for a scholarship if they've never applied? Like, they wouldn't know the terminology. They wouldn't know all the things to get without some type of guidance. And so we do an add-on called scholarship application assistance, where we basically walk them through until they feel comfortable enough to apply for scholarships on their own without us. So that kind of speaks to kind of the scholarship part of pre-college solutions.
For sure. So you talked quite a bit about the different services that you guys offer. So what would you say is your most popular service and or product that you offer?
Okay. So I would say our most popular service is the scholarship subscription plan. What I spoke about earlier, receive customized scholarship listings twice a month, starting from October, ending at the end of April, so that they can maximize on doing scholarships. For our product, I would have to say we have it's called College Made Easy, a checklist. And so that is probably our top selling product. And it's basically if a family or a parent, if they can't afford, like, they are services, if they're first generation low income, they can't afford to pay hundreds of dollars for someone to come like work with their child to get them ready for college as early as freshman year. But this checklist uh, basically maps out what you should be doing freshman year, the first semester, the second semester, and the summer, all the way until they graduate high school. And that's what's going to be um, during the Juneteenth.
Yes, indeedy. That's how I was gonna, you always get to my questions before I even begin, so that's even better for me. So we talked quite a bit about our first generation college students. So do you have any piece of advice for first generations, just a general word of advice for them?
I want to tell them to, yes, I want to tell them to not give up. Like, it's hard doing something new, like being the first person in your family, feeling like you have no one to talk to, like when you're stressing out about an exam, and like your loved ones or your friends or your support system who's never been to college, they don't get it. Like, they don't get it. Like, you're like, I have to pass this. It's 50% of my grade. for me to pass this college course. Or either I know when I was in college, I went Greek, and no one in my family has ever been Greek.
Right.
And so my dad and my mom had a very negative stereotype about Greek life. They had grew up with the movie School Days, so they had just assumed that was Greek life, and so they were not supportive of me going Greek. It wasn't until after I became Greek, after they were able to see that like I didn't change. They got to meet people, so like it changed after that. But I went through that process, without their support, and sometimes it's hard as a first generation student to set boundaries and feel alone, and it's hard. But I'm encouraging you to still push through.
Since we're all technology savvy and us kids we're always on our phones, what is maybe some apps do you think that apps or maybe some sites off the top of your head do you think that students or parents should have in regards to the college process that would be helpful?
I would have to say my number one app, especially if there is someone, a family, student, interested in doing scholarships, is the Scully app. Um, that would probably be my number one choice. My second choice, believe it or not, following hashtags.
Hmm.
Um, if there's anyone there's a college that you are interested in, or if there's scholarships you're interested in scholarships, those hashtags are typically, if you follow them, they will help you with getting more information, keeping up with what's going on. Another website, I would have to say College Board, for collegeboard.org, and that's for any students or families who want to get familiar with the testing aspect, like knowing what's the benefits of my child doing the AP exam, dual credit, SAT, the CLEP, which is the test people rarely talk about, but things like that. I would recommend those as well.
Since we've talked a little bit about HBCUs, and of course I'm a HBCU grad, and this is the Black.Blog, just talk a little bit about what you think about HBCUs or the importance of HBCUs to Black people in the Black culture.
I Let me tell you something. I love HBCUs. I Being from Louisiana, there are several there, and I actually wanted to go to Grambling, but my parents said no. So my parents said no. It was a very strong no. And again, first I was first generation. They had a whole bunch of stereotypes, that they had decided, that's not where I should go. And when you're first generation and you want to, follow whatever your parents say, then you kind of just do what they say.
Right.
Wish I would have advocated a little more, but I love HBCUs. Being in this field and seeing the students that I've worked with versus students who attended a PWI, like I see so much pride that comes from a student, a person who has attended an HBCU. Like there is so much pride. There is so much. They go hard for their school. They donate to their school. And some for me, being someone who's graduated from a PWI, I do not go hard for my school like that. I do not go hard for my school
I
like
love
that.
the honesty.
And so when I see it on social media and I hear, people, it's crazy. People like will take off work and go to their HBCU for homecoming week. Go
Yes.
there if there's a pageant. Go there if there's a if the school say they need you and you're able, you will
Real
go. And
way.
I love that. That says family. That says legacy. That says that speaks so many volumes to me. And so I don't push kids to go to a HBCU in my services, but what I do is I make them research HBCUs. I personally try to educate myself on HBCU, so that when I'm talking to a student and they're like, I want to be an actor and an actress and I want to go to New York, and I'm like, have you thought about Howard? Have you
Right.
thought about Hampton? I was like, do you know these actors that you love? They're alumni from there. Like I'm able to, speak to that for them and get them interested to maybe, they may consider a HBCU. So I feel like HBCUs are very needed. They're very important, and I love them, and I try to advocate for them without pushing it on them. It's, to me, it's like a fine line. But I'm a fan of HBCUs, but I never want to be like, I am from an HBCU, because y'all will come for me. But y'all will come from me. Y'all will research and be like, this girl is not from an HBCU. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Okay, one of my last questions is, okay, this is the Black blog, Black culture related. We always hear this question in relation to just Black people. And I ask every single person who we interview with the Black.Blog, any person that curious interview, we always have to ask a guest, what are you bringing to the cookout?
Okay. Ooh, this is a hard question. Okay. So I'm a vegetarian. And so, cookouts ever since become a vegetarian, cookouts are hard for me because my family, Louisiana, they
Right.
don't be wanting me to bring nothing. So I will be bringing the water.
The
I
water.
will be bringing the plastic utensils, the with the take home plates, the napkins. That's what they put me on. I'd be like, yeah, I can make a salad. They'd be like, nobody want that. They were like, no, no, and no. I think they're scared that if I make something and it tastes good, then they have to, they
Become a
have to,
vegan.
they have to be like, hey, this Beyond the Meat burger went bad, but as of today, they like, no, we don't even want to try Beyond the Meat. It's gonna be real meat on this grill. So that's what I'm gonna bring. That's my contribution.
Okay. Okay, so that comes to the very end. For anyone that wants to learn more about you or your business, let them know where they could find you at or your
All right.
business.
So you can find me. I'm a really big fan of Instagram. So if you go on Instagram and follow PreCollege Solutions, you'll find me there. You can go on our website, precollegesolutions.com. Email me info@precollegesolutions.com. Eventually one day I'll get a TikTok. Oh, I'm gonna get one. My clients, they be on TikTok. They like, Miss, you can do better content than them. I'll be like, I don't know. I don't know. Y'all trying to I don't know about that. So, but eventually I'm going to get on TikTok. So